Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Michael. I will be your moderator today for our webinar. We'll be beginning in a couple of moments. So just hang tight. Dr. Cutarelli will be in there with us, and we shall get the party started here. So just hang tight. All right. I'll get the slides up. There we go. All right. Okay. There we go. My name is not Dr. Cutarelli. Let me make sure I got my name there. Awesome. So while we're kind of waiting for people to join and be able to kind of get themselves situated, I want to do a couple things, which is first of all, welcome you all for a webinar. The way we do these webinars is going to be done primarily through Q&A style. So we got a few different slides as you'll see on the right-hand side there. But really what I wanted to do is give you an opportunity to ask any and all questions that you may have about the procedure. And so refractive lens exchange is a very exciting procedure that we can't wait to talk to you about, which is for those of you that maybe over that age of 45, 50 years old or 55 and above, and you're struggling wearing glasses and contacts and readers, and you're wanting to know what is available for you. This procedure is an amazing one to be able to help get you that visual freedom. And as an extra bonus, you'll never have to worry about getting a cataract as well. And so I wanted to take a second as we are very excited here at Cutarelli Vision to talk about a new partnership with Mark Schlereth. And he actually just had this procedure at our practice. And I'm going to kind of play a video for you. For many of you that know, he's an icon in the community in the sense of just former NFL player, as well as if you watch NFL as I do, you can see him on. So I'm going to play this and just give that opportunity for you to see that we've now partnered with Mark and he had his procedure with us. So uh, here we go.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Cutarelli Vision. Now, my story is this. I wore glasses all growing up. In my 30s, I had LASIK surgery, and I'm telling you what, it was great. But when I hit my 50s, I started needing readers for everything, right? When I'm reading menus, when I'm watching film, at my games, when I'm calling games on Fox, I'm looking at the field, then I got to put my readers on to see my cards. I tell you what, that was a mess. It's no longer that way. Thanks to Cutarelli Vision, RLE, refractive lens exchange. Unbelievable game changer for me. It could be for you today. So check out the webinar, guys. You can learn all about Dr. Cutarelli and RLE. And I'm telling you, it'll be a game changer for you just like it was for me. So check it out. Dr. Cutarelli, the most experienced here, 90,000 plus for the course of his career here. I tell you what, they've done an unbelievable job. You're going to absolutely love it. So check them out. ColoradoRLE.com.
Awesome. So super excited about that. You'll be seeing us being able to have that. Dr. Cutarelli just joins us right now. Dr. Cutarelli, how are you, sir? Yeah, you just need to put your camera down if you, there you go. How you doing?
Hey there.
You literally just joined like 3 seconds after I finished Mark Schiller's video. But so I just played the video for the fine folks that are here. I wanted to maybe give you an opportunity to talk about our new partnership with Mark Schillereth and just anything about him and the procedure before we kick into it, please.
Well, I mean, we're really excited about refractive lens exchange. It's just that people don't know exactly what it is. There needs to be patient education, like out in the marketplace. And then um, people like Mark Schlereth really help spread that word because he's sort of the perfect patient. We want people to know patients who are 50, 55 and older, who have blurry vision, distance and near. Um, we have an ideal type of procedure, kind of new, kind of not new, and it's called refractive lens exchange or RLE. And Mark is one of many people who've approached us and wanted to do this type of procedure. And so he had it done, and he can speak to his experience, and that helps us explain what we're trying to, which is educate the marketplace on refractive lens exchange and how it fits in. So.
Excellent. Well, let's get into the content. Ladies and gentlemen, while I'm just talking for a couple minutes, I want to do a quick poll and to find out just sort of the age breakdown of everyone that is here on the webinar. And if you could just take a second, just click the button there. I'll leave it up while I'm going through a few slides, and then we'll just to be able to kind of help Dr. Cutarelli know sort of the age demo of who we have here. So the obvious reason why you're here is maybe you're noticing it, your vision's changed a little bit. Maybe you've had LASIK in the past, maybe you haven't, but you're finding that your distance vision, your up close vision, it's just not quite as good as it used to be. And you're wanting to know what are the vision correction options that are available to you, obviously giving you that freedom from having to wear glasses and contacts, enjoying your life without having to fiddle around with them and worrying about readers. We'll talk about all that stuff here today. And I wanted to also mention that outside of Mark Schillereth, who I just showed you the video of his testimonial and just sort of the webinar, we also have hundreds of reviews. And so I would strongly advise you to go to the social channels. Google's a great one to go, and you'll see there's oodles of patient testimonials from happy patients. Before I bring Dr. Cutarelli in, just to kind of talk again just about his background, I wanted to let you know that this is, and I'll pause the end of the poll right here, Dr. Cutarelli. We've got, I'd say the majority of people, 25 people here, are all, almost the entire, well over 90% of people are over the age of 50. So you are in the right location, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much for taking a minute for those of you that responded to that. So Dr. Cutarelli, I want to bring you in to the conversation. Talk a little bit about just how long you've been in the community, a bit of your background, and a little bit more about refractive lens exchange and why you're so passionate about it. But obviously, your credentials are on the screen, but anything you'd like to share, please.
Yeah, I've been in Colorado since continuously since 2000, and I've had my own practice here since 2008, and I've always my training. Always focused on the front of the eye, which had led to corneal transplants and cataract surgery. And then I really did specialized training in LASIK long before LASIK was a thing. And refractive lens exchange is something I've been doing for about 15 years. So all these procedures attracted me because they improve people's vision. They do it quickly, rather painlessly. It makes it a very happy profession for us who specialize in truly refractive surgery, what we call vision correction surgery, getting people out of glasses, and all those things. Even corneal transplants help achieve that end. So I feel very lucky.
Excellent.
Uh,
So now let's jump right in, ladies and gentlemen, to the meat of what we're going to be talking through. And I have a lot of different questions that we've got on the side. I'm not going to read them all, but we're going to talk about what is RLE, recovery time, is it hurt? Can I have it if I've had LASIK in the past? Is it safe? Is it treat astigmatism? A lot
mhm.
of these questions, which are some of the top questions that we have, what I'd like for you to all do is think through like, you maybe have a question about your eyes that you've never asked, and you have Dr. Cutarelli right here to be able to answer that question for you. So to familiarize you, we have a Q&A, and you can just fill that out. I already see the first questions brought in, and we'll answer them for you. Dr. Cutarelli, let's get after it and talk about what's going on with people's eyes right now as they're, that people that majority are over 50, what's happening and how RLE can be able to help them get that visual freedom that they want. And I have this up on the screen for you if you want me to point at anything, please.
No, that's perfect. The lens and the eye has two major lenses. One's the cornea, and you see that it's round, it's curved, it's clear, and so it acts as a lens, meaning it focuses light. And then inside the eye, there's another lens, and it's actually called the lens. It looks like the size, shape, and thickness of a plain M&M candy, but the consistency of clear gelatin. And that's called the lens. And the lens actually ages. That's what ages with as we get into our 40s and 50s. The lens gets stiffer, so we can't really focus up close to see well up close. The muscles controlling it get weaker, so it diminishes our ability again to focus up close. And so the aging, the dysfunction of that lens leads to reading glasses. Refractive lens exchange is a procedure designed to replace that lens. So with lenses that can give you good distance vision and good up close vision and good in between or intermediate vision. And those lenses have really come of age in the last 5 years. They've improved greatly. Um, Although I've been doing refractive lens exchange for more than 15 years, it's really in the last 5 or 6 years that refractive lens exchange started to take off. And so now we have, webinars want to educate people about the techniques and the technology that are available.
So this begs the question, because many people have heard of LASIK. Why is LASIK maybe not the ideal option for somebody in their mid 50s and beyond? You referenced the lens and the cornea, but what would you say to
Yeah.
somebody who says, should I have LASIK or should I have RLE and I'm 55 and above?
Yeah, I think for us and the quality of the lenses and the techniques, if someone's 55 and older, they really become really good candidates for lens surgery or RLE, preferentially over LASIK. When someone is, 50, not 50 and younger, we tend to lean toward LASIK, although certain cases go to RLE. When they're 50 to 55, it's a little bit split down the middle, and that's why we have our free consultations in our office to see, do you fit in the LASIK group, the RLE group? Do you fit a little bit in both? LASIK is really good at improving distance vision and correcting astigmatism, and it corrects your up close vision if you're in that younger age range. Um, Refractive lens exchange is designed to correct everything, distance, near, astigmatism, and it can do that even in patients that are 50 and older.
And then while we're talking about LASIK, what about those people that may have had LASIK in their younger years and then now they're in their 50s and whatnot and they're finding their vision
Yeah.
great? Can they
Yeah,
have?
the people who've had previous LASIK, previous PRK, previous RK, radial keratotomy, all are very good candidates for refractive lens exchange and should come on in for free consults if they're considering the procedure. They want to improve their distance and their near vision.
I have a question. What is the material used to create this lens, and is that material subject to any failure?
It's not subject to failure. It's acrylic. These lenses we could put in 8-year-olds and they'll last their whole life and beyond. In refractive lens exchange, the lens does not need upgrading, updating, replacement. The beauty of refractive lens exchange is that it stops the decline of reading vision that comes with age. So if you have refractive lens exchange at age 50, the reading vision you get 6 weeks after refractive lens exchange is the same reading vision you'll have at age 90. It won't decline. Yeah, that's what, and it will also, yeah. So when people ask, it's durable.
Excellent.
Uh,
How about so somebody comes in for a consultation, they find out that they're a good candidate for RLE. How do you
yeah.
describe what happens during the procedure and what the aftercare is like and limitations on activities? What's that journey like, please?
Well, the free consultation can take about an hour. It can be longer if you want, but in general, it takes about an hour. And we're taking measurements on the outside of the eye. It's not invasive. We look in the back of the eye. Sometimes we dilate, sometimes we don't, but we have to image the back portion of the eye. And then people will set up for refractive lens exchange. The ideal patients are, 50, 55 and older with blurry vision, distance and near. Um, the refractive lens exchange procedure takes about 7 or 8 minutes per eye. We use a Valium-like medicine. You don't need an IV. We're in an office-based surgery setting, so that has a lot of advantages. It's office that have been in. It's the same people. The surgery center is set aside. It's dedicated only to refractive lens exchange and certain types of cataract surgery. And You get dilated. There's no stitches. There's, yeah, no stitches, no needles. Tends to be 7 or 8 minutes per eye. We typically do both eyes on the same day if you like. And people go home being able to see something. Um, the vision really improves greatly the next day. The next day, they're driving to the office for their post-op appointment. We see people post-op, one day, and then a couple weeks later, their restrictions are don't rub the eyes for a week, don't swim or hot tub for a week, no eye makeup for a week, and then eye drops are 4 times a day for a month. So it's very easy to
Yeah.
fit it in. It's a 7 or 8 minute procedure, and you're in the office maybe about 2 hours.
Great. I've got a few questions here. I got one from Tim, which is, it says RLE sounds like cataract surgery. And then I've got Lynn who says, how does RLE come into play if you may have had a previous cataract surgery, or does it, or are they done at the same time? So just a little, I guess the question is difference between the procedures and just how you describe that to a patient, please.
Now, refractive lens exchange is typically done in people who, don't have cataracts, and it replaces the lens that's in the eye. Refractive lens exchange prevents the need for future cataract surgery. You won't need cataract surgery if you've had refractive lens exchange. Um, if you've had previous cataract surgery, then people typically don't get refractive lens exchange. Occasionally, cataract lenses can be exchanged, um, but it's a rare scenario that
Yeah.
we do something like that.
The question of, is this you're safe for someone who's diabetic?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's risks in every surgery, but diabetes doesn't necessarily increase the risk. Yeah.
And then another question is this a monovision procedure? That's a great question. And I get
And it
is
can be, but it doesn't have to be. Yeah, some people want a monovision type surgery that can be achieved. There can be a m- mini mono or a blended type vision surgery that can be achieved. And then there's refractive lens exchange with the PanOptix lens. PanOptix multifocal lens didn't exist 6 years ago, and it's probably 80% of all the multifocal lenses that are implanted. And the PanOptix lens just in one eye alone will give you good distance vision, good reading vision, and then everything, in between. So that's not a monovision, surgery at all. And we tend to do PanOptix refractive lens exchange in both eyes.
great. I've got and Jeffrey, thank you for your question. It's kind of one of the same. Kathy's question is, I had RK years ago, and I've always had trouble with night vision and starburst. Will that go away? And then piggybacking off of that, Jeffrey says, does this help with vision at night for driving? So I guess the night vision issue. So let's talk with Kathy. Had RK, but
Yeah.
as well,
Well,
please.
first of all, the night vision issues can be helped with refractive lens exchange, but of course it depends on why you have night vision issues. So, leftover prescription, untreated prescription, dysfunctional lens, those two scenarios are greatly improved or night vision issues, eliminated with refractive lens exchange. If you go with the Panoptix lens or Panoptix Pro now, the Panoptix lens can still give like a night vision, like a look of a spider web around car lights and headlights and street lights at nighttime. But um, not something. I put this lens in one of my best friends from high school. He's a physician, college roommate. So he says, yeah, I have a little bit of halos, but they don't bother me. He's referred, other people. He's a competitive tennis player. He's needs to see up close. He needs to see the computer, and all those things are accomplished. So night vision is usually improved with refractive lens exchange. There's a type of lens which can give some night vision halos, and that's the Panoptix type of lens. As far as radial keratotomy, yes, a lot of people who've had previous radial keratotomy are great candidates for refractive lens exchange. Does it improve the night vision issues in that patient? It depends on if if the radial keratotomy incisions come close into the pupil, then then the improvement in night vision may be limited. It may be considerable, but you might still have like a radial keratotomy starburst. Yeah. But in general, people with refractive lens exchange, have reduced or no night vision issues.
Got it. I've got a few people asking questions about insurance, so we'll cover that in a couple bits. I have a question
Mhm.
from Joseph. Is 45 too young to have this procedure? Is there a higher chance of potentially needing surgery in the future because of vision changes 15 years from now? So what's your thoughts on that?
45, you're not at higher risk of needing surgery in the future. But 45, it depends on what your prescription is now. I mean, if someone is very farsighted at 45, then I think this refractive lens exchange is a good way to go. If they're mildly nearsighted or only moderately nearsighted, it's probably better to wait on refractive lens exchange and just get LASIK and enjoy your good vision now.
Got
Yeah.
it. Then I've got okay, so this is a question from Margaret. I have presbyopia and moderate astigmatism. I do not need glasses for distance. Will I compromise my distance vision by correcting my presbyopia and astigmatism with RLE? Great question, Margaret.
Yeah. Um, there's lenses that do not compromise your distance vision. Yeah, and there's lenses that do. You just have to come in for a free consult to see which one, if you qualify for the lenses that don't compromise. Yeah.
Yeah, Christina is asking a question. Is the new lens that's put in made to each individual person's vision before surgery, or is it just a generic lens that's put in everyone? So I guess that happens at the console, how we curate it for people, the lens choice, please.
Oh yeah, no, it's the measurements individual. We make individual measurements on your eye, and then make lens recommendations, but then the lens power and the astigmatism are individualized for your eye. Yes.
I've got three different people asking about, does insurance cover this procedure? If I can tackle that one. So refractive lens exchange
Yeah.
is an elective procedure that insurance typically won't cover. What any thoughts that you wanted to give to people who ask about the insurance side?
No, no, most people insurances don't cover that refractive lens exchange, and then it's something that people do for themselves. We have 2-year no interest financing. We actually have 3-year no interest financing available also. We try to do everything we can to make it affordable and for patients.
Aaron asked a question, do we do the light adjustable lens? Anything you wanted to say about the LEL, please?
Yeah, we do the light adjustable lens, and we particularly do it in people who request it, who've had previous LASIK, and particularly if we had previous radial keratotomy. So, what that means is you put a lens inside the eye, and then 3 weeks later, we start adjusting the lens with ultraviolet light, very big, elaborate, expensive flashlight. I joke about it, but it's a big desk, and it's about 90 seconds of ultraviolet light exposure, and that's done about 4 times, starting 3 weeks after the procedure. Once or twice a week, so it kind of spreads out over sometimes a 2-month period. And it's been a very nice technology because we can fine tune the distance and near vision to your body and to your needs post-operatively.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Tim asked, what about people who've had a retinal laser, like a tear in the retina or amblyopia
Mhm.
problem? Any thoughts for Tim on that, please?
Yeah, retinal tears treated, they can still have refractive lens exchange. You have to be very careful, as you would for any eye surgery, but refractive lens exchange sometimes, when someone's had retinal laser, that's a good way to make them a candidate. Yeah.
Gregory, and we're rapid fire. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. This is probably the most questions you've ever gotten. I love it.
Wow.
Gregory, is there a maximum age for not having this procedure for Gregory? Thoughts?
A maximum age for no, there's no maximum age. I mean, it can be done at many ages. It's just what's the status of the lens in your eye? Have you had uh, previous cataract surgery?
Yeah.
A minimum. I mean, we've done it in people in their 30s, but the ideal patients are, 55 and older, maybe 50 and older, blurry vision, distance and near. Mhm.
Got it. And as far as well, here's a minor question. Where are the lenses made? From Troy. He asked where they're made, the lenses.
Most of the lenses that are, I mean, a lot of them are, I think they're made in the United States.
Yeah.
There's a company called Alcon, and Alcon, and the other company is Johnson and Johnson. Those two companies make probably 90% of all the lenses that are implanted in the United States. So those are Alcon has just had different ownerships over the years. For a while, I mean, the Swiss chocolate company Nestle owned Alcon, so go figure. But Alcon has a big presence in Texas and Southern California. It's basically I consider it a Texas-based company, and J&J, of course, is based in New Jersey. Mhm.
Gene and Gregory, yes, you can use your FSA, HSA funds to this procedure.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yes.
and Laura asks, what if you have a family history of glaucoma and macular degeneration, please?
Yeah, family history of both of those doesn't impact, it's if you have glaucoma, that has visual loss, might still be able to do this procedure, but it's very, it, you got to be very careful about doing this procedure in a glaucoma patient. Someone who has high eye pressure at times, but doesn't have real glaucoma as a glaucoma suspect, I think are very good candidate for this procedure. Macular degeneration, the main concern is do you have it, yourself? Not so much is it in the family.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
but even in certain types of macular degeneration, you could do this procedure. It's just you've got to be very careful that you have good potential to make this procedure worth your while.
uh, Jeffrey asks, do these help with those folks who have trifocals for computer reading to reduce headaches?
Oh yeah, that's what this is for.
That's what it's for, though.
Yeah,
Mar
this is
Margaret, is 48 too early? I am clearly a big whiny baby for already being over the on-off of readers. It's very cute, Margaret. Thank you.
right. No, April is my receptionist up in Fort Collins. She's 48. She had this procedure. She was about a -4, and she went with the Panoptix lenses. So, depends on the prescription. Yes, we want to be. Depends on the prescription largely, and a few other aspects in your exam. So, you might be able to have it done. We
Yep.
might lean toward LASIK. Yeah.
Christina asked, does it ever happen that a body rejects the lens?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay.
No, these acrylic lenses are not, they don't create inflammation and they're not rejected. Mhm.
Another one. What about, and you're such a good sport. I'm hammering you with questions. So,
Oh yeah.
is this a permanent procedure? Does somebody have to have it done multiple times, please?
No, the lens is durable. The lens is permanent. People don't need to have it done multiple times. No, it's done once and typically, I mean, sometimes we've exchanged one lens for the other because we want a different power. Um, and we didn't want to correct it any other way other than just changing out the lens. Um, but yeah, this lens is, as I said, you can put it in an 8-year-old, it would last his whole life and beyond. Yeah, they don't degrade.
A couple other ones. Do you need from John? Do you need your pre-LASIK prescription to make this more effective? So I guess that talks about at
Makes it more accurate. Yeah, it can be done without it easily, and most of the LASIK patients, who are getting refractive lens exchange aren't coming in with their prescription. But if you have it, it's always helpful, yes.
Gregory. Could any sporting activities affect the lens?
No, once this lens is implanted, and first of all, we say, limit, none of those activities for a week. Um, but then, forceful type, I don't know, boxing or something like
Okay.
that. Um, you could probably get become a losing MMA fighter about 6 weeks after your RLE and you're good. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's what's the question is what's the lead time from initial appointment to having the procedure done? And are both eyes done on the same day? That's that question.
Typically both eyes are done the same day. Some people want one, most people want two. Uh, Once they have their free consultation, I mean, people have had it as early as the next week. Um, it's typically, a week or two or 3 or 4 down the road.
I've got a interesting question. What is a simple description of how this is preferable to LASIK? I know we touched on this earlier, basically how it's more effective long term and the quality of vision. So, I think that it's helping people to understand again why
Yeah,
do
it's really age dependent, right? I mean, when you're in your 20s and 30s and 40s, um, the lens of your eye is very pliable, and nothing beats what that lens can do for focusing distance and near. Um, for someone's, in their 40s, as I said, 20s, 30s, 40s. The cornea is where LASIK happens. It's right on the outside of the eye. You can actually touch your cornea when you put a contact lens in the eye. Um, and that's where LASIK is. LASIK is simply flattening that cornea or steepening it. And that's where LASIK happens, right where Michael is dragging that arrow.
Yep.
Refractive lens exchange, you look below, it looks like that clear balloon off to the right or clear balloon below. That's a lens that's replacing that lens is something you want to do, with the current technology. Replacing that lens tends to do very well in someone who's 50 and older, and sometimes if they're in their high uh, upper 40s. Um, the lens is a little bit inside the eye. Even if you touch the eye, you won't touch the lens. The lens is behind the brown or blue part of your eye, if that
Uh,
helps.
Thank you. A few questions about cost. I'll give you like nationwide, the average for refractive lens exchange is typically between $5,500 to $6,500 per eye. The best thing that we can be able to extend to you is the amazing financing that we have to make it palatable for a few $100s a month to help you today to be able to get, the visual freedom that you want to enjoy those best years of your life without having to worry about fiddling with glasses and contacts and readers. We do go through all of the options and pricing and financing at your initial free consultation, which is going to be the next step for a lot of you is, do you want to see if you're a candidate? We take a very organic, educational approach, which is why we're here. The lenses are obviously more expensive than just having a LASIK procedure. But for those of you that are over the age of 50, this is the procedure you want to consider because if you do LASIK, then you're kind of left with that aging lens. And this is one of the last procedures we'll ever need. So anything else you want to add on to what I just said before we continue with last questions, please?
No, that's it. I think we're very strong on this procedure. I'd say 55 and older,
Yep.
and then 50 to 55. Sometimes it really depends on your um, prescription, your needs, probably your budget.
Yep.
When you're lower than 50, most of the time we're going to do LASIK. There'll be certain times where refractive lens exchange would be preferable, but most of the time, LASIK is in, 50 and under, 49 and under, it's LASIK. Yeah.
Donna asks if you have dry eyes, will you still have it after the surgery?
Yeah, this is a great surgery to do if you do have dry eyes. It's one of the reasons that people might um, consider it, and this won't cure dry eyes. It's not a dry eye cure.
Tim asks, does RLE provide UV protection? That's a good question.
UV protection?
Yes.
Um, Not necessarily. No. I mean, we still want you to wear sunglasses, and you still need protection on the outside of your eyes. The whites of your eyes are white because there is no pigment, there is no UV protection. So
Yeah.
you still want to wear sunglasses to protect the ocular surface. That's where the tear film is generated, and you know that needs the tear film is a much higher quality if it's not damaged by UV.
So I want to, and ladies and gentlemen, I want to give out 1,000 gold stars for everybody that has asked questions.
Yeah, those are great
This has
questions.
been a lot of really good questions. What I wanted to do now is we're kind of just nearing, we try to keep these around a half an hour to respect your lunchtime and all that stuff. Let's talk about next steps, which is how do you find out if you're a candidate? So could you talk us through again what happens at that initial consultation, where we're located, and where is the procedure done, please?
Yeah, so the consultation's free. It's non-invasive. It'll take about an hour. And we're located in Denver, in the Denver Tech Center, I-25 and Bellevue, really just a block north on Union. Um, and then in Broomfield in the Flatirons, near the Flatirons Mall, we have another office location. Fort Collins, we're at Harmony and on Horsetooth between, sorry, on Timberline between Harmony and Horsetooth. So near that I-25 and Harmony exit. And then in Colorado Springs, we're on Woodman and Austin Bluffs. And so, you know, we examine people there for their procedures. The procedures done in the Denver office on Wednesdays and Thursdays. During the Denver office, about 2 hours. And you can pick convenient midday time so that, you know, rush hour isn't involved. And people have really loved it. They loved it office-based surgery that we do. It's not a surgery center. It's an office-based surgery. So that means there's not extra layers of bureaucracy. There's one bill, which simplifies it. Like if people finance, they don't have to finance the surgery center, finance the anesthesiologist, finance the surgeons, or figure out how to do that. It's all one. They just and then they see us post-op wherever they like to see us, usually one day and then 6 or 8 weeks. Mhm.
One last question from one from John is, do we need a driver afterward? And I guess part of
Yeah.
that, how soon can they drive?
Yeah, you drive the next day. That the afternoon of the surgery, the day of the surgery, you would be under the influence of, you know, a Valium-like drug, and you can't drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to kind of summarize for everybody, the next steps for all of you, we'd love to invite you to come into our practice for that initial free consultation. And so what we're going to do as a courtesy for you is, well, we will have our team also reach out to you to make sure if you leave and you're like, oh no, I meant to ask this question. Don't worry, we'll be able to take excellent care of you. And you can call us as well. But our team will reach out to you and see if you have any questions. We will also send you the recording of this webinar, and we would be incredibly grateful if you want to forward it on to a friend or family member that is also maybe in the same boat and wanted to learn about this procedure. That would be we'd be humbly grateful for that. So, Dr. Cutarelli, I would like to give you the last word. Thank you for your time today, and any final words for everybody that joined us today, please.
Well, thank you for setting up this webinar. They're always a pleasure because it really like talking about this procedure. And I look forward to being able to help you out there. It seems like there's a lot of passionate interest on this webinar. So I look
Yeah.
forward to seeing most of you in the office for the free consultations. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Have a
Thank you.
glorious rest of your
Thanks.
day. Appreciate your energy
Thanks.
and
Bye.
your focus. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.